Park Hyun-woo wiped down the last table in his small restaurant. The clock on the wall showed nearly midnight. Another slow day. Only 3 customers had walked through the door of Taste of Earth since morning. He sighed and tossed the dirty rag into the sink. Station Meridian 7 was supposed to be a place of opportunity. Thousands of aliens, from hundreds of worlds, came here to trade, work, and live. Hyun-woo thought his restaurant would attract curious customers wanting to try human food. He was wrong. Most aliens looked at his menu with suspicion. Some had tried human food before and gotten sick. Others heard stories about dangerous human spices that burned like fire. Hyun-woo locked the front door and walked toward the kitchen. He needed to prepare ingredients for tomorrow, even though he knew tomorrow would probably be just as empty. His father back on Earth kept sending messages asking when he would give up this dream and come home to work in the family business. Hyun-woo deleted those messages without reading them anymore. He was chopping vegetables when he heard something. A small sound from outside. Hyun-woo stopped and listened. There it was again. A soft, whimpering noise, like a hurt animal. He put down his knife and walked to the back door that led to the alley. The alley was dark and smelled bad. Trash containers lined both walls. Hyun-woo almost went back inside, thinking he imagined the sound. Then he heard it again, clearer this time. Something was crying near the waste recyclers. He grabbed a flashlight from the kitchen and stepped into the alley. The cold air hit his face. Station nights were always cold. He pointed the flashlight toward the recyclers and moved closer. Behind the largest container, he saw something move. It was small, about the size of a cat. But it was not a cat. The creature had fur that looked like crystal, changing colors between dark blue and purple in the flashlight beam. Its eyes were huge and glowing softly. The little thing was pressed against the wall, shaking. Hyun-woo knelt down slowly. He had seen many alien species during his time on the station, but never anything like this. The creature watched him with those big eyes. It was clearly terrified but too weak to run away. Hyun-woo could see its ribs through its thin coat of crystalline fur. "Hey there," Hyun-woo said softly. "It's okay. I won't hurt you." The creature made a small chirping sound. It was starving. Hyun-woo could tell just by looking at it. How long had this poor thing been alone in the cold alley? He reached out his hand slowly. The creature flinched, but did not run. Hyun-woo moved even slower, letting the little alien smell his hand. After a moment, it sniffed his fingers. Its nose was wet and cold. "Come on," Hyun-woo said. "Let's get you inside where it's warm." He carefully scooped up the creature. It was so light, too light. He could feel every bone. The little alien made a sad sound, but did not fight him. Hyun-woo carried it inside and set it gently on the kitchen floor. The creature looked around the bright kitchen with wonder. Its crystalline fur caught the light and sparkled. Hyun-woo noticed strange markings on its neck, patterns that seemed to glow faintly. He assumed it was natural coloring. "You must be hungry," Hyun-woo said. He did not know if the creature understood him, but talking seemed to calm it down. He opened his cooling unit and looked at his ingredients. What could he feed an alien he had never seen before? Different species needed different foods. Some things that humans could eat were poison to aliens. He needed to be careful. Hyun-woo decided to start simple. He took out some plain rice and cooked a small portion. When it was ready, he put a spoonful in a small bowl and placed it in front of the creature. The little alien sniffed it and turned away. Not interested. He tried vegetables next. Plain steamed carrots. The creature sniffed them and pushed them away with its paw. Hyun-woo tried fruits, different grains, even some plain protein paste that he kept for emergencies. Nothing worked. The creature rejected everything. Hyun-woo sat back and thought. What did he eat when he was sick as a child? His grandmother always made him one thing: bone broth with rice. Simple, warm, and easy to digest. It was worth trying. He pulled out bones from the freezer and started making broth. While the bones simmered, he watched the little creature. It had curled into a ball on a clean kitchen towel. Its eyes were half closed. It looked so tired. After an hour, the broth was ready. Hyun-woo strained it carefully and mixed in a small amount of soft rice. He let it cool to room temperature and placed the bowl in front of the creature. The little alien opened its eyes. It sniffed the bowl. Then it sniffed again. Suddenly, it pushed its face into the bowl and started eating. Not just eating, devouring. The broth disappeared in seconds. The creature looked up at Hyun-woo with those big glowing eyes and chirped, "You want more?" Hyun-woo laughed. Okay. But eat slower this time." He gave the creature a second bowl. This time it ate more carefully. When it finished, it licked the bowl clean and made a purring sound. Hyun-woo smiled. That was the sound of a satisfied stomach. "We need to get you cleaned up," Hyun-woo said. He filled a small basin with warm water and gently wiped the dirt from the creature's crystalline fur. The little alien seemed to enjoy this. Its fur began to sparkle more brightly as it got cleaner. The glowing markings on its neck became more visible. They formed complex patterns that Hyun-woo had never seen before. After the bath, Hyun-woo made a comfortable bed using clean kitchen towels in a large box. He placed it in the corner of the back room where it was quiet and warm. The creature climbed into the box and circled 3 times before lying down. "Sleep well, little one," Hyun-woo whispered. "Tomorrow we'll figure out where you came from." He decided to call the creature Byol, which meant star in Korean. Those glowing eyes reminded him of stars in the night sky. Hyun-woo stayed with Byol until the little alien fell asleep. Then he quietly left the room, leaving the door open a crack. Hyun-woo cleaned up the kitchen and finally went upstairs to his small apartment above the restaurant. He was exhausted, but felt good. He had helped someone today. Something, actually. Whatever Byol was, the little creature had needed help, and Hyun-woo had given it. He fell asleep thinking about the strange but wonderful events of the night. Outside, in the dark corridors of Station Meridian 7, other events were unfolding. Large figures in dark armor moved through the lower levels. They carried advanced scanning equipment. Their faces were hidden behind helmets, but their body language showed frustration and urgency. They were searching for something, or someone, and they were not giving up. The leader of the group stopped at an intersection. His scanner beeped softly. The signal was weak, but present. Somewhere in this district, what they were looking for was still alive. They moved forward, checking every alley, every building, every shadow. In his restaurant, Hyun-woo slept peacefully, unaware that his simple act of kindness was about to change his life forever. In the back room, Byol slept too, warm and safe for the first time in days. The glowing marks on the little creature's neck pulsed gently with each breath. Tomorrow would bring answers. And those answers would shake the entire station. A loud crash woke Hyun-woo from deep sleep. He sat up in bed, confused and disoriented. His heart pounded. What was that noise? It sounded like his front door being broken down. He jumped out of bed and ran downstairs in his sleeping clothes. The lights in the restaurant were all on, even though he had turned them off last night. Hyun-woo reached the bottom of the stairs and froze. His restaurant was filled with soldiers. Not human soldiers. These were aliens, massive and intimidating. They stood over 2 meters tall, with natural armor plating covering their bodies. Each one had 4 arms, and each arm held a weapon. Their eyes glowed behind dark helmets. "What is happening?" Hyun-woo shouted. "This is my restaurant." The soldiers turned to look at him. More soldiers stood outside on the street. Hyun-woo counted at least 30 of them. His small restaurant looked like a toy surrounded by giants. One soldier stepped forward. He was larger than the others, with more decorations on his armor. He spoke in a deep voice, and a small device on his chest translated the words into Korean. "I am Commander Tae-yang of the Velian Imperial Guard. We have traced a stolen royal child to this location. You will cooperate immediately, or face charges of kidnapping. Hyunwoo's mind raced. Kidnapping? Royal child? I don't know anything about a kidnapping, Hyunwoo said, trying to keep his voice steady. I run a restaurant. I cook food. That's all. Commander Taeyang pulled out a scanning device. He pointed it at Hyunwoo, then slowly moved it around the room. The device beeped faster as he pointed it toward the back room. The commander's eyes narrowed. The biosignature is here. In that room. He gestured with one of his forearms. Guards, search it now. 6 soldiers moved toward the back room. Hyunwoo's heart sank. Byol was in there. The little creature he had found last night. Was Byol the stolen child they were talking about? That did not make sense. Byol was just a small animal, not a child. Wait, Hyunwoo said. There's only a sick animal in there. I found it in the alley last night. It was starving, so I fed it. The soldiers did not wait. They pushed past him and entered the back room. Hyunwoo followed, his stomach tight with worry. He did not want Byol to be frightened by all these armed soldiers. What happened next shocked Hyunwoo completely. The soldiers entered the room and immediately stopped. Then, one by one, they dropped to their knees, their weapons lowered to the ground. They bowed their heads low, in a gesture of deep respect. Byol stood in the middle of the room, looking confused but healthy. The little creature chirped happily when it saw Hyunwoo and ran to him on short legs. Hyunwoo picked up Byol without thinking. The creature nuzzled against his chest, purring. Commander Taeyang entered the room. When he saw Byol in Hyunwoo's arms, he too dropped to one knee. His massive frame bowed low. Your Highness, the commander said, we have searched for you for 3 days. Thank the ancestors you are safe. Hyunwoo looked down at the small creature in his arms. Byol chirped again and licked his hand with a small tongue. Your Highness? Hyunwoo repeated. This little thing is royalty? Commander Taeyang raised his head but remained kneeling. This is Princess Nari of the Velian Imperium, 3rd in line to the throne. She was kidnapped from the embassy 4 days ago by political enemies. She escaped her captors but was lost in the lower station levels. We have been searching desperately. Hyunwoo felt like his brain had stopped working. Princess? Throne? He looked at Byol. No, Princess Nari. She looked back at him with those big glowing eyes and made a happy sound. I did not know, Hyunwoo said weakly. She was just hungry and cold. I only wanted to help. You saved royal blood, Commander Taeyang said. His voice was filled with emotion. You asked for nothing in return. You simply showed kindness to one in need. The commander stood and gestured to all the soldiers in the restaurant. They all rose and turned to face Hyunwoo. Then, as one, they knelt again. Every single soldier went down on one knee and bowed their heads. Commander Taeyang spoke in a formal tone. By the ancient laws of the Velian Imperium, you are declared Kal Tesh, Lifebinder, Protector, blessed by fate. We swear to honor you until this debt is repaid. Hyunwoo stood in his sleeping clothes, holding a royal alien princess, surrounded by kneeling soldiers in his tiny restaurant. He had no idea what to say. This had to be a dream. Any moment he would wake up in his bed. But it was not a dream. Princess Nari chirped and snuggled closer to him. She seemed completely comfortable in his arms. A new figure entered the restaurant. This one was different from the soldiers. She wore flowing robes instead of armor. Her crystalline fur was pure white, and she moved with dignity and grace. She was clearly very old, but her eyes were sharp and intelligent. The soldiers bowed even lower when she entered. Commander Taeyang spoke quickly. Empress Dowager Hae-won has arrived. The elderly alien woman looked at Hyunwoo for a long moment. Then she looked at Princess Nari in his arms. The little princess chirped happily at her grandmother, but made no move to leave Hyunwoo's embrace. You are the human who saved my granddaughter, Empress Hae-won said. Her translator made her voice sound kind but powerful. I just fed her, Hyunwoo said. She was hungry. Anyone would have done the same. No, the Empress said. Not anyone. Many saw her and walked away. You stopped. You cared. That is rare in this galaxy. She walked closer, and the soldiers parted to make room. Park Hyunwoo, Your Majesty. I run this restaurant. Park Hyunwoo, she repeated. You have done a great service to the Velian Imperium. Name your reward. Wealth, land, position, whatever you desire, shall be yours. Hyunwoo shook his head. I don't want a reward. I'm just glad the princess is safe. You can take her home now. 2. He tried to hand Princess Nari to the Empress. But the little creature clung to his shirt with surprising strength. She made a distressed sound and pressed her face against Hyunwoo's chest. Empress Haewon's eyes widened. She looked at Commander Taeyang. This is unexpected, the Empress said softly. What's wrong? Hyunwoo asked. Why won't she go to you? Velian cubs are special, Commander Taeyang explained. During times of extreme trauma and fear, they form an imprint bond with whoever saves them. It is a survival mechanism. The princess has imprinted on you. What does that mean? Hyunwoo felt panic rising in his chest. It means she has chosen you as her protector, the Empress said. The bond will fade naturally over time, usually 6 to 12 months. But until then, she will not willingly leave your side. If we take her by force, she will suffer great psychological damage. Hyunwoo looked down at Princess Nari. She looked up at him with complete trust in her glowing eyes. She chirped softly. A happy sound. So what do we do? Hyunwoo asked. The Empress was quiet for a moment. Then she smiled, and it transformed her ancient face. We adapt. Commander Taeyang, clear this area. I need to speak with Park Hyunwoo privately. The soldiers filed out of the restaurant. Soon only Hyunwoo, Princess Nari, the Empress, and Commander Taeyang remained. I have a proposal, Empress Haewon said. Serve as my granddaughter's guardian until the imprint fades. In return, your family line will be elevated to noble status within the Imperium. You will have wealth, property, and honor beyond measure. Hyunwoo sat down heavily in one of his restaurant chairs. This was too much. Yesterday he was a struggling cook. Today he was being offered nobility by an alien empress. Princess Nari climbed into his lap and curled up like she belonged there. She yawned, showing tiny teeth, and closed her eyes. Within seconds, she was asleep. Hyunwoo looked at the sleeping princess, then at the Empress. His simple life was over. Everything was about to change. And somehow, holding this small creature who trusted him completely, Hyunwoo realized he did not mind as much as he thought he would. Hyunwoo looked at Empress Haewon across his small restaurant table. Princess Nari was still asleep in his lap, purring softly. The whole situation felt unreal. I appreciate the offer, Hyunwoo said carefully, but I don't want to be a noble. I left Earth to get away from my family's business empire. I just want to cook and live. Simply. The Empress raised one eyebrow. Commander Taeyang, standing beside her, looked shocked. Apparently, people did not say no to the Empress very often. You would refuse such an honor? Empress Haewon asked. She did not sound angry, just curious. The honor means a lot, Hyunwoo said. But look at this place. It's small, and the business is struggling. But it's mine. I built it myself. Moving to some palace and attending royal ceremonies is not the life I want. Princess Nari shifted in his lap and made a small sound. Hyunwoo automatically adjusted his arms to make her more comfortable. The gesture was not lost on the Empress. She smiled slightly. You care for her already, Empress Haewon observed. Hyunwoo looked down at the sleeping princess. Her crystalline fur sparkled even in the dim restaurant light. She looked peaceful and safe. Yesterday she had been starving and alone in a cold alley. Today she was clean, fed, and sleeping without fear. She's just a kid, Hyunwoo said. Of course I care. What kind of person would I be if I didn't? Most people would see opportunity, the Empress said. A royal child in their debt. They would calculate how to gain the most advantage. I'm not most people, Hyunwoo replied. The Empress studied him for a long moment. Then she laughed. It was a warm, genuine sound. No, you certainly are not. Very well, Park Hyunwoo. I will accept your terms, with some conditions of my own. What conditions? You will keep Princess Nari safe. Commander Taeyang and a small guard unit will be assigned to protect you both. You will allow royal physicians to check on the princess regularly, and if there is any sign of danger, you will cooperate with security measures. Hyunwoo thought about it. Those conditions seemed reasonable. Okay, but I stay here on the station. I keep running my restaurant, and no royal protocol inside these walls. When she's here, she's just Nari, not Princess Nari. Commander Taeyang made a choking sound. The Empress silenced him with a look. Agreed, she said. Though I suspect you will find the next few months quite different from your simple life. She was right. The next morning, Hyunwoo woke up to find his restaurant surrounded by news crews. The story had spread across the station overnight. Human cook saves alien princess. Every media outlet wanted an interview. Crowds gathered outside, hoping to catch a glimpse of the princess. Hyunwoo kept the restaurant closed. Princess Nari did not understand all the attention and got scared by the crowds. She stayed close to Hyunwoo, following him everywhere on her short legs. Commander Taeyang and 4 guards moved into the empty storage space next to the restaurant. They worked quickly to set up security systems. Hyunwoo watched them install scanners, shields, and weapons with growing concern. Is all this really necessary? He asked. The princess was kidnapped once, Taeyang said. It could happen again. Those who took her are still out there. That sobering thought made Hyunwoo agree to the security measures. He would not let anything happen to Nari. His neighbor, Kim Da-eun, knocked on his door that afternoon. She was a human engineer who lived in the apartment building across the street. They had been friendly, but not close. So, Da-eun said when Hyunwoo let her in, you're taking care of an alien princess now. That's new. It just kind of happened, Hyunwoo said. Princess Nari peeked out from behind his legs. She looked at Da-eun with curious eyes. Da-eun knelt down and smiled. Hello there, Your Highness, Da-eun said gently. I'm Da-eun. I live across the street. Nari chirped and took a cautious step forward. She sniffed Da-eun's hand, then made a happy sound. Apparently, she approved. She likes you, Hyunwoo said, relieved. That's good. She's been nervous around most people. Kids can tell when someone means them no harm, Da-eun said. She stood up. Listen, if you need any help with all this craziness, let me know. I'm good with technology. I can help with the security systems or whatever. Thanks, Hyunwoo said. I might take you up on that. Over the next few weeks, life settled into a strange new routine. Hyunwoo reopened the restaurant, but now there was always a line of customers. Some came because of the princess, but many came because the news coverage had mentioned his cooking. Princess Nari helped in the kitchen, or tried to help. Mostly she created chaos. Her crystalline fur naturally generated small amounts of energy, which meant she accidentally turned on the stove twice by walking past it. She knocked over a pot of soup trying to stir it. She ate half the ingredients while Hyunwoo was cooking, but she was also wonderful. She learned to greet customers with a polite chirp. She made people smile, just by being herself. And at the end of each day, she would curl up on the couch in the back room while Hyunwoo cleaned, purring contentedly. Commander Taeyang became a constant presence. At first, Hyunwoo found it annoying. The commander insisted on tasting everything before Nari ate it. He checked every customer who entered. He took his duty very seriously. But slowly, They became friends. Taeyang would stay after his shift ended, and Hyunwoo would make him tea. They would talk about their different worlds. Taeyang taught Hyunwoo about Velian culture. Hyunwoo taught Taeyang about human cooking. Your species is strange, Taeyang said one evening. You are soft physically, yet you survived and thrived on a dangerous world. How? Humans adapt, Hyunwoo said. We're not the strongest or fastest. But we don't give up. We find solutions. We work together. That explains much, Taeyang said thoughtfully. Da-eun became a regular visitor. She brought Nari small toys and taught her simple games. Nari loved Da-eun's visits. The engineer also helped upgrade the security systems, making them more efficient. You're good at this, Hyunwoo said, watching her work. I used to design security for corporate buildings on Earth, Da-eun said. This is more interesting though. Alien technology is fascinating. Everything seemed to be going well. Hyunwoo was adjusting to his new life. Princess Nari was happy and healthy. The restaurant was successful, but danger was watching. Late one night, Da-eun knocked on Hyunwoo's door. She looked worried. Someone's been probing my security systems, she said. Professional work. They're trying to find weaknesses in the defenses. Hyunwoo felt cold fear in his stomach. Should we tell Commander Taeyang? I already did. He's increasing patrols. Da-eun hesitated. Hyunwoo, I've been monitoring the station's dark networks. There's chatter about the princess. Bad people are planning something. What kind of something? I don't know yet. But they mention you specifically. They see you as an obstacle. Hyunwoo looked toward the back room where Princess Nari was sleeping. She trusted him to keep her safe. The thought of someone hurting her made his hands clench into fists. Let them come, he said quietly. Da-eun put a hand on his shoulder. I know you won't. None of us will. We'll keep her safe together. Over the next few days, tension built. Commander Taeyang doubled the guard. More security systems went up. Hyunwoo found himself looking at every customer with suspicion. Princess Nari sensed something was wrong. She stayed closer to Hyunwoo than usual. At night, she had trouble sleeping. Hyunwoo would sit with her, stroking her crystalline fur until she finally dozed off. It's okay, he would whisper. I'm here. Nothing will hurt you. One afternoon, while Hyunwoo was preparing ingredients in the kitchen, Nari playing nearby, all the lights in the restaurant suddenly went out. Emergency lights kicked in a moment later, bathing everything in red. Commander Taeyang burst into the kitchen. Station power grid just failed in this entire sector. This is not a coincidence. We need to move the princess to a secure location now. Before Hyunwoo could respond, an explosion rocked the building. The force knocked him off his feet. Princess Nari screamed, a sound of pure terror. Hyunwoo scrambled toward her through the smoke and debris. His hands found her small body. She was shaking, but unhurt. He pulled her close to his chest. I've got you, he said. More explosions followed. Alarms blared. Through the smoke, Hyunwoo could see armed figures moving in the street outside. They wore dark armor and carried heavy weapons. The attack had begun. Commander Taeyang grabbed Hyunwoo's arm. Get to the back room now. Seal the door. Hyunwoo clutched Princess Nari to his chest and ran. The little princess was crying, terrified by the explosions and chaos. Hyunwoo's ears rang from the blasts. Smoke filled the restaurant, making it hard to see. He burst into the back room just as Da-eun came through the rear entrance. She had a small weapon in her hand and a determined look on her face. I saw them coming, she said. At least 20 mercenaries, maybe more. Outside, the sound of weapons fire erupted. The Velian guards were fighting back. Hyunwoo could hear Taeyang shouting orders to his soldiers. More explosions shook the building. We can't stay here, Da-eun said. She was working on a portable terminal, her fingers flying over the controls. They'll breach the main room in minutes. Where do we go? Hyunwoo asked. Princess Nari was shaking in his arms, her crystalline fur flickering with distress. The kitchen, Da-yoon said. It's more defensible. Narrow entrance, multiple exits, and lots of things we can use. They moved into the kitchen. Hyunwoo set Nari down gently in the corner behind the main counter. The most protected spot. Stay here, he told her. Don't move, okay? Nari chirped weakly and pressed herself against the wall. Her big eyes were wide with fear. The sounds of fighting grew louder. Then came a massive crash as the restaurant's front wall exploded inward. Hyunwoo heard heavy footsteps and alien voices speaking in languages his translator couldn't identify fast enough. They're through, Da-eun whispered. She had locked the kitchen door, but it wouldn't hold long. Hyunwoo looked around his kitchen. This was his space, his territory. He knew every inch of it. And suddenly, his cook's brain started working differently. This wasn't just a kitchen anymore. It was a battlefield. And he knew this battlefield better than anyone. Da-eun, he said quietly. Can you control the station's environmental systems from here? Some of them. I have an idea, but I need you to trust me. The kitchen door shuddered as something heavy hit it from the other side. Voices shouted in the restaurant. They were searching for the princess. Whatever you're planning, do it fast, Da-eun said. Hyunwoo moved quickly. He turned on all the stove burners and set large pots of oil heating. He grabbed his sharpest knives and placed them within reach. He opened the industrial freezer and propped the door open just slightly. The kitchen door exploded off its hinges. 3 mercenaries pushed through, weapons raised. They were different species, all heavily armed and armored. They looked around the kitchen with contempt. Just a human cook, one of them said through a translator. Where is the princess? Hyunwoo stood between them and Nari's hiding spot. His heart was pounding, but his hands were steady. Years of working in high-pressure kitchens had trained him to stay calm, under stress. Not here, he said. Liar. The lead mercenary raised his weapon. Move aside or die. No, Hyunwoo said simply. The mercenary laughed. Brave, but stupid. What will you do? Cook? Hit me with a spoon? That's when Hyunwoo grabbed the pot of boiling oil and threw it. His aim was perfect, developed from years of precise cooking movements. The oil hit the lead mercenary's face shield. Even through the armor, the heat was incredible. The mercenary screamed and staggered back. Hyunwoo didn't stop. He grabbed a knife and threw it at the second mercenary. It struck the joint in the alien's armor where there was a gap. The mercenary went down. The third mercenary fired his weapon, but Hyunwoo was already moving. He had spent years working in kitchens, navigating tight spaces at speed. He was faster than the mercenary expected. The shot missed. Hyunwoo grabbed a heavy cast-iron pan and swung it with all his strength. The pan connected with the mercenary's weapon, knocking it from his hands. Before the alien could react, Hyunwoo struck again, this time at the mercenary's head. The alien collapsed. Da-eun, now! Hyunwoo shouted. Da-eun's fingers danced over her terminal. Suddenly, the ventilation system went into overdrive. The smoke from the fighting was sucked out rapidly. But more importantly, the temperature in the kitchen began to drop fast. More mercenaries poured through the door. 5 of them this time. They saw their fallen comrades and raised their weapons. Hyunwoo grabbed Nari and ran toward the freezer. Trust me, he whispered to the terrified princess. They ducked into the walk-in freezer. Da-eun followed and sealed the door behind them. The mercenaries rushed forward, not realizing the trap. Emergency supercool activated, Da-eun said, watching her terminal. Temperature dropping to -100 degrees in 30 seconds. The freezer's temperature was already cold. But now, it plummeted dangerously. Hyunwoo pulled off his jacket and wrapped it around Princess Nari, then held her close to share body heat. Humans could survive extreme cold better than many species. It was part of their evolutionary heritage as persistence hunters. Through the freezer's small window, Hyunwoo watched the mercenaries. They were entering the freezer, confident they had trapped their prey. But as the temperature dropped, their movements became sluggish. These aliens came from warm climate worlds. The extreme cold affected them quickly. One mercenary's weapon froze and stopped working. Another's armor joints locked up from the cold. They tried to retreat, but they were moving too slowly now. Hyunwoo had one chance. He handed Nari to Daun. Keep her warm. Then he grabbed a metal shelf pole that had come loose. It was heavy and solid. He pushed open the freezer door. The mercenaries were struggling, their bodies not designed for such cold. Hyunwoo moved between them with the efficiency of someone who had spent years breaking down meat in professional kitchens. Every movement was precise. Every strike calculated. These weren't combat moves. They were the practiced motions of a chef who understood exactly where to cut, where to strike, how to disable quickly and efficiently. Within a minute, all 5 mercenaries were on the ground, unconscious or too cold to fight. Hyunwoo was shaking. Whether from cold or adrenaline, he couldn't tell. His breath came out in frozen clouds. His fingers were going numb. Hyunwoo! Commander Taeyang's voice came through the smoke. The Velian commander burst through the kitchen entrance with his remaining guards. He stopped when he saw the scene. Mercenaries scattered across the kitchen floor. Hyunwoo standing in the middle, holding a metal pole, his clothes torn and bloodied. His eyes met Taeyang's. "Is the princess safe?" Hyunwoo asked. "Behind you," Daun called from the freezer. Taeyang moved forward and looked into the freezer. Princess Nari peeked out from Daun's arms. She saw Hyunwoo and made a desperate crying sound. Hyunwoo dropped the pole and went to her. His hands were shaking now, shock setting in. Nari climbed into his arms and pressed against his chest, seeking his warmth and safety. "I've got you," Hyunwoo whispered. His voice was rough. "I've got you." Taeyang looked at the defeated mercenaries, then at Hyunwoo. "Daun helped," Hyunwoo said. He was starting to feel very cold and very tired. More Velian guards poured into the restaurant. Station security forces arrived moments later. The battle was over. The mercenaries who survived were being arrested. "We need medical attention here," Taeyang called. "The human is injured." Hyunwoo looked down and realized he was bleeding from several cuts. He hadn't even felt them during the fight. The adrenaline was wearing off now, and everything hurt. "The princess first," he said. "Make sure she's okay." A royal physician examined Nari carefully, while Hyunwoo refused to let her go. The physician confirmed she was unharmed. "Just frightened, and you need medical attention immediately," the physician told Hyunwoo. "You have hypothermia and multiple injuries." "I'm fine," Hyunwoo said, but his teeth were chattering. He wasn't fine. His vision was getting blurry. His legs felt weak. The last thing he saw before darkness took him was Princess Nari's worried face, and her small paw touching his cheek. Hyunwoo woke up in a white room. Medical equipment beeped softly around him. His body ached everywhere. For a moment, he couldn't remember what had happened. Then, it all came rushing back. The attack, the mercenaries, the freezing cold. He tried to sit up and immediately regretted it. Pain shot through his ribs. "Don't move," a gentle voice said. A Velian physician approached his bed. "You have broken ribs, hypothermia, and various cuts and bruises. You need rest. Where's Nari?" Hyunwoo asked. Immediately, the physician smiled. "Right here." She stepped aside, and Hyunwoo saw a small form curled up at the foot of his hospital bed. Princess Nari was sleeping, her crystalline fur rising and falling with each breath. She had refused to leave his side, the physician explained. They had to bring in a special bed, large enough for both of them. Relief washed over Hyunwoo. She was safe. "That was all that mattered. You've been unconscious for 2 days," the physician said. "The entire station is talking about what you did, the human cook, who fought off 20 mercenaries to protect the princess. Da-un helped, Hyunwoo said. And Commander Taeyang's guards. Yes, but you were the one who turned a kitchen into a battlefield. The security footage has been analyzed by military experts across multiple species. They're calling it brilliant improvisation. Hyunwoo didn't feel brilliant. He felt tired and sore. But Nari was safe, so it was worth it. The door opened, and Empress Haewon entered. She looked at Hyunwoo with an expression he couldn't read. "Leave us," she told the physician. When they were alone, except for the sleeping princess, the Empress pulled a chair close to Hyunwoo's bed. "I owe you an apology," she said. "For what?" "I underestimated the danger. I thought my guards would be sufficient protection. I was wrong. You nearly died because of my failure." "No one could have predicted that attack," Hyunwoo said. "They were professionals. Well-equipped. Someone with a lot of money wanted Nari badly. The Obsidian Court," the Empress confirmed. "A political faction that opposes my rule. They wanted to use my granddaughter as leverage. Thanks to you and station security, they failed. Their leaders have been arrested." She looked at Princess Nari, still sleeping peacefully. "She has become very attached to you. More than just the imprint bond now. She loves you." Hyunwoo felt his throat tighten. He reached out and gently touched Nari's crystalline fur. She made a happy sound in her sleep and moved closer to his hand. "I love her too," he admitted. "Yes, she is." The Empress was quiet for a moment. "I came here to make you a new offer. Park Hyun-woo. The previous offer of nobility and wealth still stands. But I want to add something more." "What?" "Formal adoption into the royal family. You would become Prince Guardian Park Hyun-woo. Nari would legally be your daughter. You would have all the rights, responsibilities, and protections that come with royal status." Hyunwoo stared at her. "You want me to adopt the princess? Permanently?" The imprint bond was supposed to be temporary. But what we've seen goes beyond biology. She chose you, and you chose her. You risked your life for her. You've cared for her, protected her, loved her. In every way that matters. You are already her parent. But I'm just a cook. I don't know anything about being royalty or politics, or any of that." "You know about kindness," the Empress said. "You know about protecting those weaker than yourself. You know about love. Those are the things that matter most." Hyunwoo looked at Nari. He thought about the first night when she was starving and alone. He thought about her trying to help in the kitchen and making a mess. He thought about her happy chirps when he came home each day. He thought about standing between her and armed mercenaries, knowing he might die but not caring because she needed him. "I have conditions," he said finally. The Empress raised an eyebrow. "Of course you do. I keep the restaurant. It's important to me. I want Nari to understand human culture as well as Velian culture. I want her to grow up knowing both sides of her family." "Agreed. I won't be a puppet. If I see something wrong, I'll speak up, even if it makes people angry. I would expect nothing less. And Da-un gets a good job. She saved us too. She deserves recognition." The Empress smiled. "Already done. I've offered her the position of Chief Technology Consultant for the Imperium. She accepted this morning. Formant. We formant for mility. I have a 5. End quote. Hyunwoo felt tears in his eyes. Everything was changing so fast. His simple life was gone forever. But looking at Nari, he realized he didn't want his old life back. This strange, chaotic, wonderful new family was worth more than any amount of peace and quiet. "Okay," he said. "I'll do it. I'll be her father." The Empress stood and placed her hand over her heart in a Velian gesture of respect. "Then it is done. Welcome to the family, my grandson." Princess Nari woke up at that moment. She saw Hyunwoo was awake and made a joyful sound. She carefully climbed up the bed and nuzzled against his chest. purring loudly. "Hi, Nari," Hyunwoo said softly. Nari chirped and licked his hand. Hyunwoo chose to interpret that as a yes. 6 months later, life had settled into a new normal. The restaurant was busier than ever. Taste of Earth had become famous across the station, not because of the royal connection, but because Hyunwoo's fusion cuisine was genuinely excellent. He had learned to cook dishes that honored both human and Velian traditions, creating something new and wonderful. Princess Nari, now officially Princess Nari Park, helped in the restaurant every day after her lessons. She was learning both human languages and Velian diplomatic protocols. She could greet customers in 6 different languages and knew exactly how much spice each species could handle. Commander Taeyang had become more than a guard. He was Hyunwoo's best friend. They spent evenings together, sharing tea and stories. Taeyang taught Hyunwoo about Velian history and culture. Hyunwoo taught Taeyang about human cooking and showed him Earth movies. Daeun visited often. Her new job kept her busy, but she always made time for Nari. She brought the princess toys and books and taught her about technology. Nari adorait her aunt Daeun. The story of the human cook who fought mercenaries to save a princess had spread across the galaxy. Humans were viewed differently now. Still new to the galactic community, but no longer dismissed as weak. Other species had learned that humans might seem soft, but they were also fiercely protective, incredibly adaptable, and stubborn beyond belief. One evening, Hyunwoo stood on the restaurant's small balcony, watching ships come and go from the station. Nari sat on his shoulders, her favorite perch. She was getting bigger now, almost too big for shoulder rides, but Hyunwoo didn't mind. "What are you thinking about, Dad?" Nari asked. Her language skills had improved dramatically. "Just remembering the night I found you," Hyunwoo said. "You were so small and scared." "I was hungry," Nari said. "But you fed me. You made me safe. You made me a better person," Hyunwoo replied. "Before you, I was just running away from my old life. Now, I have a purpose. Because of me, because of you, and Taeyang, and Daeun, and all the friends we've made. You showed me that family isn't just about blood. It's about choosing to care for each other." Nari was quiet for a moment. Then she nuzzled against his head. "I chose you," she said simply. "And I chose you," Hyunwoo replied. Below them, the restaurant was filling up with the dinner crowd. Hyunwoo could see Velian guards sitting next to human traders, engineers from a dozen species sharing tables and trying each other's dishes. Barriers between worlds were breaking down, one meal at a time. "Come on," Hyunwoo said. "We have customers to feed." They went back inside together. Nari jumped down from his shoulders and started greeting customers. Hyunwoo put on his apron and went to the kitchen. There was work to do. As he cooked, he thought about the journey that had brought him here. He had left Earth looking for a simple life. What he found instead was complicated, challenging, and occasionally terrifying. He had been attacked, threatened, and forced to fight for his life. But he had also found love, purpose, and family. He had learned that true strength wasn't about muscles or weapons. It was about standing up for what mattered, protecting those who needed protection, and choosing kindness even when it was hard. The galaxy was vast and full of dangers. There would be more challenges ahead, more threats to face, more problems to solve. But Hyunwoo wasn't afraid anymore. He had Nari, who looked at him with complete trust and love. He had friends who would stand beside him in any crisis. He was Park Hyunwoo, cook, father, and apparently a prince. And it all started with one simple choice: to help someone who was hungry and alone, to show kindness when no one else would, to care when it would have been easier to walk away. That choice changed everything. For him, for Nari, and in a small way, for the entire galaxy. In the dining room, customers laughed and talked. Nari's happy chirps mixed with the sounds of different languages. The smell of cooking food filled the air. This was home. This was family. This was exactly where Hyunwoo was meant to be. The end.